Hello friends, welcome to another post-commentary for a speedrun. The reason I'm doing post-commentary now is because I've been really tired lately and just haven't had the energy to really do live commentary, especially not for one of these longer than usual RTA speedruns which I'm doing here. So that's why I'm just doing post-commentary instead, so I can focus entirely on the run during the run. And yeah, of course I'm doing Relentless Push East in RTA. I did the IGT version like half a year ago. So it's about time someone did RTA, I think. Yeah, anyway. One of the primary bottlenecks of this run is admin power, which is why I do a few things to increase admin power here. However, I also take this prestige thing twice, because I'm gonna need prestige later on. And here I got a bit lucky with this, whatchamacallit, estate agenda, because it gives me 50 admin power for conquering a province I was going to conquer anyway. So that's definitely helpful. Also get a Siege 2 General, that's not too bad. Obviously, I spend like way too much time on this setup before like unpausing the game, but that's just because I'm not amazing at real time, which you will see later on. This is not, I'm not terribly proud of this run, honestly. It's a free world record because nobody's done it before, but still, yeah. Anyhow, I release Kasim here because they're a steppe horde or steppe nomads, which means they have like maps all the way to Manchuria, so I'll be using them to share maps so that I can get vision all the way to Manchuria without having to actually like explore or anything. But before that though, I need to fight Kazan, and then after that Nagai, which is, well, first there I'm doing this call to arms glitch where I'm calling in people I'm not even allied to, which is quite helpful. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna fight Kazan and then Nagai because I need one province from Nagai, which is in Asia, and then I'm going to move my capital there for reasons which will become apparent later. For now though, yeah, I'm sharing, well, I'm requesting the first map there. I'll be requesting a total of 3 maps from them in order to get a full explored the entire way there. Yeah, so this first war with the Kazan is not very difficult when you get to call in bonus allies and stuff. It's kind of overwhelming. The next one against the guy is going to be a bit more tricky because I didn't manage to call in anyone else via the glitch that time. It's unfortunate because the guy allied with Great Horde. Otherwise, Great Horde is usually game to fight both Kazan and Nagai. So I guess if you want to have an easier start, you could just make sure to, you know, restart until Great Horde doesn't ally with either one of them. Which would probably be helpful here, especially in real time, because then you really need to get all the help you can get to minimize the amount of micro you need to do and such. And I'm not good at micro in real time, let me tell you. Anyway, so they're not quite ready yet, so then I need to awkwardly try to move these people back to occupy these provinces. But it works, I guess. So they're fully occupied, and then we can take a bit of money as well, because money is going to be a problem later. It doesn't have to be a problem, but it can be a problem if you get unlucky or mess up, and I think both of those things apply to this speedrun. I both mess up and get unlucky. So I get a claim on this Jike province, yikes, because that's the one I'll be conquering. That's the closest province that is in Asia, and that's the entire point of all this. So yeah, I tried to check if there are any people who wants to join in here, but there are none. At least I have this Siege 2 General, so that's something. yeah, so the provinces from Kazan are just there so that I can actually get the one in Magai. I don't actually need to keep the ones in Kazan, and here I failed to get those unexiled, so another little awkward dance there. In fact, I'm not even coring the ones from Kazan because admin power is, as I said, a bottleneck, and there's really no need for me to core them, really. So I'm just not doing that. And yeah, you can see me a little bit stressed out. I don't really want to lose troops, but I do anyway. Because that's life sometimes. Yeah, and I also didn't want to hire any more generals because I'd like to preserve military power to get to military tech 4 later on, because that makes a big difference. I hire some mercenaries finally, just to level the playing field a bit. I try to hold off on doing that to save money, but, well, I'd rather not lose any more battles than I have to. So I win that battle and feel pretty good about myself. I think, well, maybe this is going well. And then this happens, and it doesn't go well. So I'm like, eh. So here I remember to do this thing where you concentrate Metropolitan, and that gives you enough of that Orthodox, whatever it's called, to get a bit of extra discipline there. Something which I probably should have done earlier. But yeah, this event, a general with 100 tradition, which is kind of tempting, but I need the prestige in order to get maps from Kazim, and I was unsure whether I'd be able to get my prestige up to get those maps if I were to take the other event option. So I had to, unfortunately, say no to that general. Yeah. At least they never went for my my siege stack on the capital there, which is quite nice. That could have been a bit of an iffy situation. Also, my vassals did a good job of sieging down that capital from Great Horde. Don't think it ended up mattering though. They never finished that before the war finished. So that's unfortunate, but that's fine. So I'm a bit reluctant to spread out too much after what happened before, but I saw that they were pretty much all up in Parham there, so I figured that I'd play it a bit riskier here to get some progress, since I had some needed to catch up a bit. So I got the capital here, but I figured that I probably can't get what I want yet, and I just confirmed that indeed need a bit more. It's just one province and doesn't even have a ton of development, but I still, of course, need a decent amount of war score before they are willing. So yeah, just waiting for that. And I wanted to hold off a bit to see if they would win the siege there in Great Horde, but they didn't, so I just decided to stop the war here now that I could. Wanted to get some money, but couldn't really get very much. So that's sad. Right, and now my armies are exiled, so I'm gonna move them up to Parm, getting rid of the mercenaries because I won't need them anymore. They're expensive. So I'm moving up to Parm because after that I'm gonna cross over that one uncolonized province to get to Uzbek, which I'm gonna get military access in, deleting some forts to save money. Can you see here? Yeah, getting military access there. So that's the first one. I'm gonna get military access in Oirat and Mongolia as well, in order to get all the way across. First I need to improve relations in Oirat a little bit in order to get them to play along. So yeah, already have a royal march with Perm. So at this point I was like contemplating getting rid of my cavalry, because they're probably not worth the money, but my troops were so spread out and I figured that would be too much micro in a real-time run, so I didn't do it. Could have saved me some trouble later probably, but yeah, this is fun. So Uzbek often get a bunch of rebels that can just make things a bit more difficult when you try to cross over their country here. You don't really feel like fighting those rebels, so I need to sort of find my way around here, which is kind of annoying. They're also in a war with someone, I forget, Chagatai, I think. Here I'm trying to desperately get all of my troops to move through a path that won't go through the rebels, but it's just messing about a bunch, flailing. Well, I managed it eventually. It's item tick 4, but I remembered I have forgotten to start coring this province here. So I was gonna do that first, because that one needs to be a core in order for me to move my capital there later. So now I'm ready to get maps of Mongolia. Of course you need to have troops in a neighboring region to the one that you're requesting maps from, otherwise it doesn't work. So you need to kind of get them gradually as you're moving across the continent. So military access for Oirat now is the next one in line. And these ones were trailing behind, so I figured whatever, I'll delete them, save a bit of cash. Also reduce army maintenance there. Could have done that a bit earlier. I wanted to keep it up while I was traveling across that uncolonized province, because otherwise you might get attacked by natives, and if your army maintenance is low then you might not win that battle, which is awkward. So I keep that up while I'm moving through uncolonized territory. It's fine now. So I'm all the way through Uzbek, so I cancel military access there to save Diplo power, because I'm above the Diplo limit while I'm getting military access, and I do need Diplo power later for exploration ideas. So yeah, there's some rebels in my vassals, they can deal with that themselves. Yeah. I spend way too long choosing between those two event options. But you never know, sometimes you get events and you pick the wrong option and it turns out to be pretty bad. So it can sometimes be worth it to just take a moment. Let's increase army maintenance slightly, since some of my armies need to move into that uncolonized province up there. And now I can get my last maps of Manchuria, so now I have all the maps I need. So the reason I'm putting a few armies up there in the uncolonized territory is because when I declare a war, which I will do momentarily against Solon, then all my armies that are in neutral territory will become exiled. That's how this game works. So, but if you have armies in uncolonized territory, then they actually don't become exiled. So I make sure to put some of them there. Then later on they can occupy a province in Solon, which the rest of them can use to become unexiled, which you will see. So usually Solon is only allied to Nevk, but this time they were also allied to Haixi, which is bad luck, because that means this war is a bit more, not exactly difficult, but takes a bit longer and get a bit more annoying, which you will see later. Also, I keep an eye on my relations with Mongolia, because sometimes they just cancel your military access if they become too upset with you. That's obviously not very good. Cancel military access to Neurath to save Diplo power. And these guys, of course, have been exiled now, but not for too long. I also need military access in Yeren because I need to get over to Nivk, because the true target of this war is Nivk. Because I need to vassalize them, as you can see on my splits. And the reason I don't declare war on them directly is because if they are a secondary participant, then I can... it's just easier to get a peace deal with Solon to vassalize Nivk. They're less stubborn about it. So yeah, occupy that one province so I can unexile my armies, and then we're just gonna move on to occupy Solon. And usually, when they're only allied to Nivk, you can kind of just occupy them, begin sieging down the capital, and then move over to Nivk and do the same, and it's usually not too much trouble. But they're allied to Haixi now, so they have approximately like twice as many troops as they usually do, which ended up a bit problematic. And here I noticed the Kazan separatists, and I don't really want to spend military power on this, but I do need to make sure to keep them down until I have moved my capital to Jaik, because otherwise I can't do it if there are Kazani rebels standing around, and I'd rather not have to like buy a bunch of mercenaries or something. Here I try to avoid running into these guys, but I don't manage, but fortunately I still win that battle, so it's not all bad. Yeah. So here we go, I have occupied that, and then I figured I should go down and try to peace out Haixi, which probably would have been good to do as like a first priority, but I wasn't really used to having to fight them at all, so I wasn't really prepared to deal with that. Also, I'm out of manpower now. It's quite possible that it would have been worth it to disband a few more troops, especially the cavalry. So I tried to spread out, and I figured if I occupy most of them, then maybe I can white peace, since I don't exactly want anything from them. Fortunately, they come back here, and I tried to check here if I can save my little stack there by piecing out. They don't want white peace, and they don't want money. Then I spent some time checking if they want anything else, but they don't want anything else, so this was kind of a waste of time. I think I could have known that immediately, because the suggest offer button was grayed out, but I'm not that savvy. Here I tried desperately to escape, but there's no use. I even made my ruler into a general, which I try to avoid because I don't want to risk him dying and potentially getting stuck in the Regency or something. But I took the risk here, and it wasn't a problem. Fortunately, I managed to piece them out now before any more of my troops got slaughtered. But now these guys are exiled and need to get them back on track. So here I send away one unit because I realized I didn't have my siege general on that, so I wanted to get him in there. So here I figured that I'm just gonna go and occupy that southern province there to get my other armies unexiled. Seems like a great plan. What could possibly go wrong? Well, you will see exactly what will go wrong. I got my siege general onto the Niv capital at least, so I got that going for me, I suppose. Yeah, So they're attacking me, and of course most of my armies there are in fact exiled, so they will not join the battle. So that's sad. So I need to go all the way over there to get them unexiled instead. Fortunately these guys could run away at least, so they didn't get wiped. But yeah. So this is one of those things that were a bit of bad luck that they allied with Hikesea. This could have gone a lot smoother otherwise. Although, of course, everything is also partially my own mistakes. For example, I missed the fact that there were Nogai separatists rising up. And of course, I cannot allow them to remain unopposed if I'm going to move my capital later, so I have to buy some mercenaries there to deal with that. Which is unfortunate. Could potentially have been avoided. So I'm trying to see if I could possibly get peace for releasing, vassalizing Nivik, but I could not. I figured that I don't want to risk losing that battle, so I'm gonna wait until those mercenaries are on top, full morale. So yeah. So now I just need to win this as soon as I can, but I also don't want to. I'm kind of hesitant to spread out too much. I don't want to lose more troops, but I take a few risks there and it kind of works out, so that's fine. So, put on the Siege General, because I once again did not have him in the right location. It's kinda tricky sometimes when you like merge armies and you think you have a Siege General, but he actually gets replaced. Which is sad. So I'm like, do you want peace? No. So I'm like, does Niv want peace? And they're like, no. Though they're actually closer. I probably should have put Niv as a co-belligerent. I'm actually not sure why I didn't do that. Because I suppose it would have made them cheaper to vassalize. I guess I was afraid that maybe they would be allied to somebody else, but I could have checked that, so I don't know. Who knows why I do the things I do. Well, at least the war is over now, so I can vassalize Nivik. Let's see if I can get some money. And I could not get very much, 1 ducat. But that's more than 0. So that's done now. So the next step now, of course, is to move the capital here. And the reason I do that is because I want to seize a province from Nivik. But I can't do that unless I have a capital on the same continent as they do. So I need a capital in Asia in order to steal a province from them over here. But I also need their liberty desire to go down, which they obviously hate me right now. But it's not a huge hurry either, because I still need to get to admin tech 5 to get exploration ideas. So yeah, I get an alliance with Jaren in order to ensure that I can keep military access through them, because I'm gonna need that later as well. So I try to use any trick I can to get their liberty desire down. I'm a little bit short, so I check if I can get some more prestige, and I can. So I get some more prestige. And do placate local rulers. So then I can take this province and begin coring it. And the reason I get this province is because, let's see if I can remember this. Like, I need, if I get like a core on it, I can, like, I get colonial range, so I can colonize the coast. But that's not really enough for, like, I don't remember exactly why, but there's some limitations to that. So basically I need to move my capital over there as well, because if I move my capital to that province, then I can effectively colonize or conquer the entire East Siberian coast, which I otherwise wouldn't be able to. Here I'm contemplating selling some more crown land, but I figured that's fine, I don't need to do that, but I should have done that, because later on I get rebels, which apparently prevents me from selling crown land, and that almost put me in big trouble towards the end. But well, I remember I have some unnecessary diplomatic relations, that wastes diplo power, including this alliance with Kazim, which I really don't need anymore. So now I'm no longer above the diplo limit. Because yeah, I need the first two ideas in exploration ideas. The first one to explore and the second one to colonize. So yeah, it's mostly admin power you need, but you do need a bit of diplo as well. We have another event which I'm uncertain about, but I end up doing the lower one. Kind of checking my economy and figured things are looking kind of alright, but not for long. Things are gonna get dicey. One big problem is the peasant war, which I suppose maybe that's another reason why you might wanna disband more troops, because then you have more manpower in the bank. Here I sell this province to Great Horde, because like I said, I don't need those provinces, and in fact they are only causing trouble when they are not cored. So I was gonna sell it to Kazan, but then I realized I'm rival to them, so instead I just end up giving it back instead, just because I don't want any more rebel trouble or overextension. Essentially. So yeah, I don't know if that's good or not to do, but I did it anyway. Good thing I got extra money for events. So yeah, closing in on admin tech 5 now, so I need to get ready to explore. So get this, and then exploration ideas, and quest for New World. Obviously I don't have any ships, but I do have armies, so I'm recruiting a conquistador to just basically start walking up the coast. And in case you're wondering, no, you can't get maps of the coast, because nobody that you know of knows of that coast, unfortunately. So you do need to explore that manually. But it's not a huge deal, because you would need exploration ideas anyway to colonize. So yeah, now we're just walking. And here we go, this usually happens. Some of your vassals, some of your many vassals get uppity. And it's not terrible, I suppose. You should probably ideally try to avoid having this happen. Like, it's not like you have any means to fight them and all of your armies are in the east. So it would be great to be able to do this without having to pay a bunch of money. But this is one of those cases where it's good to read the event options, because had I clicked the top option there, I would have given up that one province I have there, which would have been really silly. The entire strategy would fall apart. So yeah. So the issue now is that I need to move my capital to Miyugasan, but I need like 333 admin power to do so, and I'm kind of short on that. And that's the thing, right? I usually try to get at least a level 3 admin advisor, but I happened to hire one which was not of primary culture, so I couldn't promote it. So instead I was stuck with a level 2 in the entire time. But that's how it is, so I need to basically wait a bit. In the meantime, I just go explore a bit more. So most of the provinces here are empty and can be colonized, but then there are a few tribes that you may need to conquer. It's possible that most of them can actually migrate away from the coast if you're so fortunate. But usually there's like at least 2, maybe 3 that you'll have to conquer. Here's one of them, and I check if they're allied to any of the others, but they are not. However, I do not start fighting them yet, and the reason for that is because I can't actually conquer them until I have moved my capital. That's like one of the things with the coring range and stuff. So I need to move my capital before I start the war. And you know, you can't move your capital during a war. So I kinda need to wait here for a bit. And notice I'm getting rebels in that province. And again, ideally I don't want to have to do harsh treatment, since I'm kinda close to military tech 4 and I'd like to have that. Because these tribes can actually be surprisingly competent. If they happen to have military tech 4 and you don't, then it can be a bit harder than you might think to actually beat them in battles. So kind of wanted to make sure. That's one of the reasons I lost previous attempts. Well, at least it made it a bit harder. So I realized I don't really need 10k to explore here, it's just attrition, so I split them off in 2. So yeah, 333. Get military tech 4, so that's taken care of. I still need to keep an eye on these rebels. Fortunately, they stayed at 80%, so that didn't become a problem. So now I just need to wait 1 more month, and then I'll have my capital on the Pacific coast. They're still not allied to anyone. So now there's gonna be a bunch of no CB wars. So I'm not done wasting admin power yet, because there's a couple of no CB wars I'll have to declare. So I get started occupying them, and then I continue to explore the rest of the coast. But I get blocked by those guys, so I have to go around. Here you get an event. I hope to get a bit of extra admin power there, but I think they ended up not giving it to me. So yeah, nah, they didn't. Those rascals. So it's extremely slow to moving to explore this area, because you know, it's very slow to move between these provinces under normal circumstances, but when you're exploring, you're of course even slower. It takes forever. And that's how it is. I get an event. Do I want my RTA or my ruler? And they both have the same amount of admin power, which is probably what matters the most. And also you get some additional penalties if your ruler dies, so I opted for the less bad option. Of course, Peasants' War is it's up and coming, which is very bad, but I can't really do anything about it, because I need to declare these no CB wars. Don't exactly have time to get claims. Okay, so I win this occupation now. As you can see, I cannot take this yet because I... Oh yeah, that's another thing. I don't actually have colonial range, even now, to that province I just occupied. But I do have colonial range to the one next to it, so once I have unlocked the second exploration idea, so I have a colonist, then I can just send a colonist to the province next to it, and when I have a neighboring province, even if it's just a colony, it doesn't even have to be finished, then I will be able to take the to finish the war there, basically. So that's nice. So here's Kamchadals. It's the second ones that I need to fight. So let's start doing that while my conquistador continues to explore the lost province. And here's the peasant war, which I think gives you a bunch of unrest and also increases stability cost by a bit, and you also get a bunch of nasty events, so kinda sucks. You have to deal with it. But, you know, hopefully this shouldn't have to take much longer, right? Well, it didn't have to necessarily take much longer, but then stuff happened. Which you'll see. Switch to Diplo now to get a little bit faster, but then I start to think maybe I shouldn't have done that. Because maybe I'll need more admin power later. But, well, I don't think it ended up mattering too much. So now I just send some troops up, because I got a little bit paranoid that maybe those 5k wouldn't be able to win against those 2k. Which is probably a bit overly cautious, but that is fine. So yeah, now I start to colonize that one, which doesn't take too long. That's another advantage of having your capital so close. It takes not very long to send the colonists out. I immediately recall my colonists though, because I don't need them there. But now I can annex them, and then I can start colonizing this province. Because, again, I don't actually have colonial range there from my capital. But by taking one province at a time, I am able to get the entire coast that way. So that's kind of nice. And of course I do need to colonize this middle province here in order to get coring range to Kamchadals and Shukchi. And here I realized that I don't really care about corruption anymore, so I can get extra money through debasing currency. And at this point I'm feeling kinda good, kinda confident. I'm getting Kamchadals here. This is kinda nice, so really my economy isn't doing great exactly, but it's not doing terrible either. And all I really need to do is finish Shukchi and then colonize the 2 remaining provinces. And by the way, in case you don't know, you don't actually need to finish the colonies for this achievement. It actually counts if you just have started colonies, which makes this, otherwise this would have taken a lot longer. Way longer. But fortunately you just need to start them. So that is quite nice. Yeah. So I start to send some more, getting more nasty events from the Peasants' War. And yeah, all I need to do now is finish the siege, and then I figured once that's finished I'll just send the last colonist while I make the peace deal. And then I'll end on a, well, not a good time, but at least I'll know I can finish it, so that feels good. Fortunately I have some rather bad luck on the siege rolls, so it takes time, and I start to get paranoid about bankruptcy. Because if I get bankrupt, then I can't colonize anymore. So that's a no-no. So I figured out I just need to continue this a little bit longer, so I'll just start to, what do you call it, exploit development for some emergency cash while I wait. So I figured that should do it. And there win the siege, so now, yay, now I'll just send this colonist, and then I'll take the peace deal and conquer them, and I send the white peace. I'm too fast, I sent white peace. And I'm so mad. I got so mad at myself for doing that. Cause like, I could have been done here. Literally could have been done here, but I was too hasty. Oh god, this is painful to watch. So, I figure this is bad. I'm kinda close to bankruptcy. But what can I do? I have no choice. Boost stability and then truce break. And of course I do another mistake here, because I didn't notice that I was using the what do you call it? Forced migration CB rather than a no CB, and with forced migration you can't actually conquer anything, which is something I discovered later. Fortunately, it wasn't in itself like a run killer, because I can still force them to move away from the coast so I can colonize it, but it did waste needless time. So that's another mistake I did. But that's a bit more forgivable, I think, because it's kind of easy to miss that you have a CB there. So yeah, now I just continue to try to desperately avoid bankruptcy through any means possible. I fired all my advisors earlier, I tried to reduce my spending, tried to drag down colonial maintenance. I can't really put it at 0, because then I'll actually lose settlers. But I tried to lower it a bit more, lower war exhaustion, and then continue to desperately exploit development. And I also got rebels in the capital, which again I could have avoided. I had enough military power to do harsh treatment, but I wasn't paying enough attention. So then I realized I don't really need to keep these colonies up right now, because they obviously waste a lot of money. So I just remove all the ones that I don't need. I do need to keep that one in the middle going. So here I win the siege, and I'm like, okay, cool. I don't think I noticed that I won the siege though. I was busy removing some troops. Now I notice, and now I also noticed that I used the wrong CB. So I said, oh well, at least I can move them out of the way. But that one is the furthest province, so it takes the longest for the colonies to reach. And I realized that I might still go bankrupt. So what to do? So now I just pause the game and start to think of any way that I can. I don't really care about going quickly in real time anymore. I just try to fix, and I check why I can't do this, because I have rebels. So I figured, well, I'll just accept the demands of the peasants, because that doesn't seem too bad. But I realized I cannot accept the demands of these Nivk separatists, because I do need that province. So I see if there are any state interactions. I realize I can revoke this and take it again. Like, yay, 5 loans. But no, apparently I did not get any loans. I'm not entirely sure why, but probably because I was on the cap for loans. So I just look around, is there anything else? And this goes on for a while. I just really didn't want to fail this now. This is not my first attempt, so I just wanted to get it done. But yeah, I was not very happy about this. I just felt I was so stupid. Could have been done like, I don't know, 5-6 minutes earlier. So I just check for every province where I haven't yet exploited development and just do it. Everyone. There's actually quite a few that I hadn't done yet, so that helped a lot. And then Jike, which yay, 0 to cuts. That helps. So yeah, that was more or less done at this point. So what more can I do? I figured I can't really do much else. I do think I actually was able to debase currency once more, but I didn't notice that. So yeah, but it's only a little over a month before I reach that one, and the rest of the provinces are much quicker to reach. And I'm not losing too much money at the moment. So just recall that, and then send them right over there, which is another month. Of course, it's gonna get a lot more expensive as I add more colonies, so I kinda need to be quick about this. The last two are very quick. That one, then the last one. And I'm gonna be fine. And there I'm done. I have the entire coast. Again, you don't need to finish the colonies, so this counts. But yeah, this was just... I mean, I knew that I wouldn't get a very good time either way, because I'm just not that good at real-time runs. Whoop, there's the end of the video. But yeah, the stuff at the end, the mistakes I made there was just kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Anyway, that is all. I hope you enjoyed my rambling for like 46 minutes, 47 or 48 even. Until next time, goodbye.